Hello everyone. So we are going to talk about security testing content, which we are going to cover in our upcoming training. So we are going to talk about all the topics which we are going to cover and how we are going to cover it. So it's kind of a roadmap for you guys to understand what exactly is security testing and why we need it and what all we need to cover. Before starting this, I like to point out that right now there are very less professionals out who are actually experts in the security testing, and there is a lot of demand right now in order to have the security testing or security tester in any organization. Let's start. So we will introduce you to the penetration testing, security testing, and we'll identify their needs and the use cases. So yes, you will know that there are different types of pen testings which you can do, and then there are different type of pen testing techniques that we will also cover. So penetration testing is mostly used in all kind of web application supporting organizations, and 100% of organization IT organization supports the web applications. So we'll talk about basic concepts of security testing like confidentiality, integrity, authentication, authorizations, availability, non-repudiation, resilience, etc. So yeah, these are some of the basic theoretical concepts, but you should always know them so that you can actually identify these things and capture these kind of problems and categorize them. So yes, penetration is also a type of security testing, but there are other type of security testing which we'll do: vulnerability scanning, security scanning, risk assessment, security auditing, posture assessment, and ethical hacking. So ethical hacking is something which is very broad, and we are not going to talk much about it, but we are going to talk mostly about penetration testing and all other stuff, which is basically scanning, assessment, and auditing. So you will scan your problems, you will also do the assessments, and you will also do the auditing, and then you will also do the security testing and everything. And we will talk about ethical hacking, but not in that detail. You will have the overview, you will know how you can do that, but you won't be like 100% expert in that after this. For that, there is like separate sessions or separate trainings which will happen, to be very frank here. So we will talk about encoding and decoding. We'll talk about cryptography and techniques and all these terminologies, and also we will see them how they practically impact any application, or how you can actually uh, like breach any of the security using these concepts. So these are very important terminologies and concepts in terms of security testing. So, just a thought here that we have web applications, APIs, databases, and middlewares mostly in the industry. So that's how every uh, like application is built up with these four major concepts. There are like several other stuff as well. Like you have some other kind of data sources. By databases, you can have, I mean, you can assume that these are all kind of data sources, and then some other small chunks. But these are the major things what we have in our industry. So before moving further, I'll say we'll talk about the security testing of all these kind of applications, and how actually the breaches are done, how actually we can actually test these kind of breaches and make sure they don't happen in future. So understanding the protocol is very important to get a good grasp on security testing. You will be able to appreciate the importance of the protocol when we intercept the packet data between the web server and the clients. So yeah, of course, if it is SSL like SSL layer is there, and then you have any other kind of like specific protocols for the specific needs, yes, they matter a lot, but so you should also be aware of those things. So yeah, we'll talk about these as well. These are just some examples. We'll talk about like much more than this in our sessions. These are like basics of what we are going to discuss, but this is just for HTTP and HTTPS. I'm just giving an example, but we'll talk about much more than this. So yeah, so Open Web Application Security Protocol. This is called as OWASP. So we'll talk about all the OWASP problems which are basically released every time by the by the OWASP team. So we'll talk about how is it done, what are the technical and business impacts, example and hands-on, and preventing mechanisms. So yes, so these are the different top 10 risks which changes eventually depending upon how often they occurs in any of the applications in or in the IT industry. So we'll talk about generic test cases. So I'm just showing you all these test cases, but we'll do much more than this. So like check if application is able to identify spam attacks on contact forms used on the websites, or spam email filters, or try to exploit all servers, desktop system, printers, and network devices. Similarly, we'll talk about like verifying the usernames and passwords are encrypted and transferred or secured a connection like HTTPS. So yeah, these are some generic things, but we'll talk about much more about them in our sessions. We'll talk about more test cases and more scenarios, and we'll cover all kind of things. So there are some more of them. I'll just show you here about like hard-coded data or like cookies, or like checking if the fix is done. So no open port in network and all these things. Password requirements. So these are very generic test cases which I'm just showing you an example, but we'll cover much more complex ones and we'll see how those works. So these are the different tools which are present. OWASP has Z attack proxy, which we call as ZAP. We have Burp proxy as well. We have IBM Security Web App Scan, which is expensive one. Firefox, Cookie Editor, Kane Enable. So there are multiple tools which you can do using which you can do the security or penetration testing. But we will work with ZAP. It's a freeware, but it's really good. You can actually perform many operations like intercepting proxy, automated scanner, passive scanners, brute force, spiders, and then ZAP and JBehave is one of the interesting features. That's why I have bolded it out. So yes, we'll talk about all these things, but and we will have the overview of the tools as well, and we might switch from one tool to another depending upon the requirement and how you guys will actually like it. So if ZAP is not working out for us altogether, we can usually decide to switch. But personally, I think ZAP is pretty good, and there shouldn't be any like need of switching to any other tool. So that was all about what we are going to talk in our security sessions. So I hope you like it. Thank you, and have a good one, guys.